Hi guys, welcome to Little Wicket Railway. I'm Rob, and today I'm at the Warley Model Railway exhibition. Absolutely freezing this morning, so I hope they've got the radiators on in the hall. Just heading over there now. Looking forward to meeting up with some friends, seeing what the layouts are like, seeing the new models, the new releases. So it should be good, and I'll get the camera back out when we're inside.
And you'll be pleased to know that's the only footage I took with my ugly mug in it all day, and it's narration from now on. So loads of videos about Warley have already come out covering all the announcements and the layouts, and I can't add much to those. Plus, I didn't really do much filming. I'll put what I did take in the background whilst I'm speaking, but I just wanted to share my personal experience of the show. And if you went, then I'd like to know your thoughts in the comments, or if you chose not to go, then let me know why. This was my second time at Warley, and I was helping John JMC with his exhibition layout, Byway MPD. And I'm stretching the definition of helping there because I didn't really do very much. If you're not familiar with John's channel, then the link's up in the corner, go check it out. He's a wizard with all things electronic and digital. More on his layout Byway MPD later on too. The centrepiece of this year's show was the large Prairie 5164, which was sponsored by Curoscale and the Earlstoke Manor Fund are currently raising funds for its restoration. Surrounding the Loco were all the big manufacturing brands, and I dropped by to see what was going on. You can't miss Hornby, who are front and centre as soon as you walk in. They were showing off their new TT120 stuff, which looks good, but still doesn't really interest me. I had a couple of conversations about TT120 with people during the day, and I think there's still some nervousness about committing to a scale that's still not very well catered for and doesn't have much of a second-hand market yet. Something that really did impress me though was their OOP2 class Prince of Wales with smoke generator, which appeared to be synced to the chuffing. I've got a Black 5 with smoke generator on order, and having seen the tech in action, I can't wait to get it. Although knowing Hornby, I probably won't get it until 2030. Just like last year, they were selling their Triang 70th anniversary 040s for 10 quid, so I picked up one of those because they're useful if you want a chassis to put a 3D printed body on. I didn't spend too much time at Bachmann. I don't tend to order anything new from them just because they're so expensive when the models first come out. I stopped by Curoscale to see Richard Watson from New Junction and check out their new pannier tank, which I pre-ordered. Looks very nice and I'm looking forward to getting that, but I don't think the face comes as standard. Rapido had lots to show. Again, another manufacturer that I find quite pricey, so I tend not to pre-order unless there's something a bit unique like the Tipville Thunderbolt set. As well as manufacturers, there were loads of retailers there. I've been messing about with laser cutters recently, so was really interested to see what L-Cut Creative had to offer. Their laser cut buildings look really good, plus they're reasonably priced, so definitely competition for the likes of Metcalf with their card kits. I had a quick look at the DCC train automation stand, and I wish I'd spent a bit longer here and spoken to some of the team because this is the stuff that really interests me. Despite all the temptation, I managed to keep the credit card under control and only bought a few wagons from Tony's Trains and a Warwell wagon complete with Sherman tank from Oxford Rail, who were doing a show special. And I think I actually spent more on my ticket, parking and travel for the day than on products, and that's worth talking about. So despite technically having an exhibitor wristband, I still bought a ticket, partly to support the show but mostly to alleviate some of the guilt of not being very helpful as an exhibitor. The ticket in advance was £18 plus £2 admin fee, but if you bought on the day it was more expensive, and parking on site was £12.85 in advance, and again more if you paid on the day. So that's nearly £33 just to park and get in, plus travel costs on top, and that's a lot of money. I appreciate that the exhibition space is expensive, but I expect the price puts some people off. The only other show that I've been to at the NEC of comparable size is the running show, and they pretty much give their tickets away for free. To justify the entry price, you really need to make the most of the show and get a lot back from it. And I think I did that, and here are 4 things that made it all worthwhile for me. Firstly, live Steam. I knew absolutely nothing about live Steam and I'd never seen it in action, but Nick from the live Steam demo was kind enough to explain all about how live Steam works technically, which was fascinating. He explained the history of Hornby's live Steam project and why he thought that it hadn't caught on, mainly due to Hornby messing up the instruction manual, resulting in people crashing their expensive models. So if you get a chance to chat to them at another show, then it is a great use of time and really interesting stuff. Secondly, exhibiting. John JMC was kind enough to let me join his crew for the day, and I did about an hour of driving on his layout Byway MPD. It's a fairly small layout, but it's the amount of detail and technology packed into this small area that makes Byway stand out. All the locos have sound, lights and stay alives. The layout is controlled either via a touchscreen on the front of the layout, a tablet via Wi-Fi or traditional handheld controller. All of the points are motorised, the ground signals can be changed, there's a day and night mode which changes the atmospheric lighting and the lighting in the buildings. The water tower swings from side to side and so does the crane, plus there's even a thunderstorm mode with rain noises and flashes of lightning. So there's plenty to keep people entertained and to be admired about this layout. It was my first time operating a layout at a show, and it was really enjoyable, but also a lot more stressful than I was expecting. There's the pressure of trying to keep the action going and not mess up, whilst at the same time people watch, film and ask questions. The time flew by and I really enjoyed it, so I would say if you get the opportunity to help out with an exhibition layout, then I'd highly recommend it. Or if that's not an option, then stop by and chat to the guys that are running the layouts, because it makes their time at the show more enjoyable, and you never know, they might just let you take over so they can have a breather. The third thing that I thought made Warley worth it for me was the layouts. I've already shown you loads of footage from the layouts that were there and the quality is next level. Although there's only so much pleasure I can get from watching trains run, I either want to be building it or playing with it. Having said that, there were a few layouts that really impressed me. Bron Hebog, and I've no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly, is a 009 layout. It's a model of Bedgellet Station on the rebuilt Welsh Highland Railway and encompasses the first of the famous 1 in 40 S-bends climbing away to the north into Bedgellet Forest, and to the south the layout also features Goat Tunnel and the notorious Bridge to Nowhere. This is a biggish layout, and what I really like about it is that whilst the trains are the main feature, they don't dominate the layout. There's loads of landscape and the railway runs through it quite naturally. It really is a beautiful layout. At the other end of the modelling spectrum was the massive Playmobil layout. Loads of G-gauge action with buildings all over the place and even a huge harbour area along the front. The children definitely loved it, and it's something they can relate to. There's always talk about how to get more youth into the hobby, and layouts like this are great for that. It's a shame that there weren't more railways where kids could get hands-on or have a drive. Perhaps the show needs a kids zone with a load of Brio, Duplo, Lego, all the toys that start them off in the hobby from a young age. The other exhibitors that I really liked were the Loco Ladies, and you might recognise them from the Great Model Railway Challenge. They had a number of demonstrations that combined technology and creativity to great effect, from skaters whizzing around the village to Father Christmas shooting across the sky complete with atmospheric smoke. They were also just lovely to speak to, and it was really interesting to hear about their time on the TV show. And that brings me nicely onto the final thing that made Warley worthwhile for me: meeting people. What I've realised from going to a few shows now is that the highlight for me is always meeting and chatting with people. You can go into a shop at any time and you can watch videos of layouts online or read about them in magazines, but it's not always easy to meet up with people in person. I've virtually met so many people on YouTube, and it's great to put a face to a name and have a chat, and I say this as someone who's naturally quite shy and introverted, but everyone I met at Warley was really friendly and positive. I've come away with quite the collection of professional looking business cards this year. I've got Craig from Iron Horse Railways, John from Piccadilly Model Railways, Jeff from Flint Hills and Andrew from March West Junction. So I'll have to get myself sorted with some cards for next year. It was great to meet Timber Surf in person. His Tim Scale range of 3D accessories is really cool. I'll put the link in the description, and he was kind enough to give me a sample, so thank you for that, Timber. I always enjoy meeting up with Charlie from Chadwick. He's really generous with his time and full of wise modelling advice and entertaining stories. And he also introduced me to David Townend from McKinley, and it was great to speak to him about how that's developing. It was nice to meet Timber Valley, and he's put out a comprehensive video all about the show if you want a proper detailed overview. I got to meet Sam and Ben, who were fellow helpers on Byway. Ben also has his own range of 3D design products available to buy either through his brand Inoxian Models or via Scale 3D, links in the description. And there were lots of other people, so thank you if you came over and had a chat. So yeah, that's a summary of Warley from my point of view. I really enjoyed it, and I'll most likely be back again next year, so I'll hopefully see you there. That's about it for this video. Please do subscribe if you haven't already, it's completely free, and remember to turn on notifications if you want YouTube to let you know when future videos come out. A massive thank you to the members and patrons for supporting the channel, it's very much appreciated, and your names are on screen now. Thanks for watching, and I will hopefully see you again soon.